Okay, today we are playing a game on Route 66. We are in the Platinum SR range, and we will be playing Zenyatta the entire way through. And our current team composition is Roadhog, Soldier 76, Widowmaker, Torbjorn, Anna, and Zenyatta. Just tell me those 3 words I want to hear. Solo Tank Roadhog. Isn't that fantastic? So that's very exciting. We've got a Torbjorn, even, with no shield. So, excellent synergy. Everything's going well so far, and I'm very optimistic about it. So let's start the game. So we're defending first. Roadhog's off up to no good immediately already. Is he gonna get anybody? Is he gonna get... He got someone? He got someone. Incredible. Great job, Roadhog. All justified. So we jumped off the high ground to do this, which is very scary, very aggressive, and it's led to us dying. Jumping off the high ground... You want to have a really good reason if you're going to do it, pretty much, because high ground's really strong. Any long-range or mid-range hero just really wants to be on high ground. High ground's really good. So if we're going to jump off, we want a good reason. We did not have a good reason. We were basically just like, maybe someone's in the tunnel. And it didn't really work out too well. So anyway, things are not going terrible in our absence. Soldiers off to the side right here, and we're trying our best, but it's a hard one to win for Zenyatta, unless we're gonna click on that bad man real good. So everywhere is pretty scary. We've honestly got no good place to stand right now, because we've got no main tank in front of us to hold them back, and soldiers behind us, so we can't even just stand far back. Pretty much the best thing we probably could do is just try and kill Soldier, because then at least we have space behind us that's safe, so we could just stand further back. As it stood, there was just nowhere good for us to be. Like, everywhere was dangerous, because we've got Roadhog as our tank. And soldiers behind us. Pretty much the best we could have done was try and take him, but I mean, you know, he had the high ground advantage, he's got the biotic field and the helix rocket, so it's like very in his favor, unless we're gonna click on the bad man's head real good. But sometimes life is difficult and you've got no great option, you know? So we're standing in a very scary place right now because we're just kind of in the middle of the street. We're backing up now, but, you know, just something to bear in mind is like, well, what's near me I can use as cover, and if we're just standing in the middle of the street, all the cover is like on different sides of the street, so we gotta go pretty far one direction or another to get to it. And another thing to ask yourself is, how far do I have to go to get, like, to safety? If I have to retreat. If you're real far up on, like, the street on Route 66, the answer is quite far back to come all the way back here. You know, they were still waiting for the gate to open, so not the end of the world, but still kind of scary, just because something bad happens, right? So Soldier's using TAC Visor. He's been nano boosted as well. He's managed to kill 2 people, but we did kill him in the end. Miraculously enough, everything went pretty well, all things considered. Torbjorn's deployed his payload all over the payload, and... Oh, the Reinhardt just used Earth Shatter. What happened to you, my man? Oh, is Roadhog ulting? Roadhog's ulting, I see. Poor Reinhardt. Poor Reinhardt. So his Earth Shatter ended up accomplishing nothing right there. Very unfortunate for him. This is a very aggressive position to be taking again, but they are mostly dead. So, harder to get punished, but still, Zenyatta's really easy to kill. So, doing, like, any aggressive posturing, pretty much, is pretty scary for the guy. Just, you know, maybe he'll peek around the corner again. You never know. Just, like, if we're gonna go for the volley someone right as they come around the corner, you know, just, like, commit to it, right? Just, like, actually charge it up and fire it. Don't build up, like, 2 orbs and then fire it. Like, commit one way or the other, you know? Just go for it or don't go for it. Don't half-ass something. Always full-ass it. So we do have trance built up. Try not to stand perfectly still. Like, I know we're mostly just hoping someone comes around the corner and gets just completely beamed in the skull. But try not to stand perfectly still, because if anybody on their team is like a remotely precision-based hero, and they come around a corner and see you just standing perfectly still, they go, free real estate. And then that's, especially for someone really easy to hit already, like Zenyatta. I play a lot of Ashe, and as soon as I see someone standing still, I come around the corner and I see a Zenyatta standing still, it's like all my Christmases have come at once. So try not to stand perfectly still. Just, you know, bob back and forth at least a little bit. Just don't make it completely free for them, at least. So they've decided to go up that side now. We've got Trance built up. They've got a Zarya. Zarya's probably got Grav by this point, so we pretty much want to try and save Trance for that. This is extremely aggressive, what we're doing right now. Try not to walk into people that you're shooting at as well, because us moving closer to Reinhardt and Zarya, it doesn't give us anything. It's not like we do more damage for being close to them, and they would love very much if we were closer to them. The closer we are to Reinhardt and Zarya, the better for them. So Soldier's using Tac Visor right now, and also in critical health, so we should put the Harmony Orb on him right there. But I'm not sure we noticed it was happening. So, got into a bit of a scary encounter right there. Didn't die. Alright, we're after him. Still a little scary, but we got a lot of teammates in the vicinity to help us as well. Batista is trying his damnedest to get out, but he just couldn't figure out that tunnel. Unfortunate for him. So we've still got Trance. Zarya didn't use Grav, so... they've got Tac Visor as well, so, you know, these are two ultimates that we want to try and save Trance for. Graviton's the bigger deal than Tac Visor is, but if Tac Visor looks like it's going to kill a bunch of people, this is a very questionable use of company resources from Torbjorn over here. He has decided to use Molten Core and just spew it all over Winston. Like, he's got no interest on throwing it on anybody else, it seems. The Winston was nano boosted. Didn't push Trance in time. I think this is the one we were upset about. Yeah, here we go. Trance. Didn't push the button in time. Unfortunate. Fast reflexes. And, you know, our name was Blink. You know, we should have some pretty sick reflexes, right? That's how it works. Anyway, so things have been going badly in our absence. Our team is, well, things weren't going fantastic with our presence. They've not been improved by our absence. We go for the Trance right here, just to basically go in with it. Maybe also to try and keep ourselves alive. I'm not really super invested in using Trance for this point, because it's pretty gone. Like, once they get to this position on this checkpoint, oh wow, it's really hard to stop them from actually capturing it from this point, because the way that you have to get to them is so terrible, and they're so close, and the angle's so bad that, like, I would have rather saved Trance to use for this checkpoint, because this checkpoint is so much easier to defend than the second checkpoint anyway. Like, this is like 80% of the map as far as I'm concerned. So I would rather have saved it for this checkpoint, where we have like a plausible chance of defending it, whereas the second checkpoint, by that point I feel like we had like a very, very low chance of defending it. So, Torbjorn just got picked off over there, but Hanzo got picked off in Retribution, so it kind of breaks even in the end. Winston's bubble is slowly approaching. We are shooting it. We don't need to be. Like, it's not doing anything, and there's other things we could be shooting at right now, so us breaking, like, that bubble is inefficient at best, and waste of time at worst. So, Soldier's over there. No, he's not. No, yes, he is. Soldier's on the right-hand side. Okay, I just saw Reaper die, and I was like, he's on the right-hand side. No, he's on the left-hand side. No, he was on the right-hand side. It's, you know, there's a lot happening right now. So we've ended up in a very scary place. We advanced into a pretty scary place, and then Soldier started using Tac Visor. So we were like, well, fuck, now I gotta, like, go more in to, like, get behind cover so he can't see me, but now I'm just really close to all the scary people, and like, oh god, I have to go so far back to get to safety. Oh god, Zarya's out. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's no reason we can't have just stayed back on the truck, really. Like, it gives us a less good angle for shooting at the enemy team, but going up into a position where we can, like, see them really easily puts us in such a vulnerable position that I just don't think it's worth it. Survival as any support is really important, but particularly as Zenyatta, getting picked off is terrible, because your teammates depend on you for transcendence to save them from certain things. There's just nothing they can do in some situations if you don't have trance or sound barrier. So getting picked off is real bad, and Zenyatta is oh so easy to pick off because his hitbox is absurd. He's literally a floating box. He's extremely easy to hit, very slow, no self-peel other than kill the man trying to kill me. So you gotta be real careful when you go up into any kind of aggressive position, pretty much. So there Winston's up to no good. He was purple, things were looking good, but then he used not Nano Boost. Winston did not use Nano Boost. That would be very weird for him to have that ultimate. He used Primal Rage instead, and it didn't really accomplish overly much. It looked like he could have gone harder for us, but he kind of immediately broke off from us, which was great news for us, but questionable choice from him. So we've ended up in an awkward spot where there aren't many great places for us to stand, because there is danger in every direction. Life is extremely difficult sometimes like this. Oh, didn't get trance up. Ah, Jesus Christ. Back it up. So, let me go way back. Way back. As soon as YouTube feels so inclined as to go way back. So even if we were standing further back, we'd still end up in a really dangerous spot where there would be danger all around us. So this is very brave to come out this way, pretty much. Like, given that we are quite close to trance, survival is very important to us right now, because we're definitely in a position where us getting to use our ultimate or not, it can very easily be the difference between them getting the third checkpoint and not getting the third checkpoint. So, like, we go out this way and go, like, real aggro on the Ana. I'd rather play it a little bit further back, just, like, wait a little longer, play around the health kit more, stay back, try and build up the last part of trance, then go outside, so when bad things start happening to us, as they inevitably will in this situation, we've got our ultimate to use at least. Then we could be out there right now, and hey, maybe Torbjorn would have been alive, it would have been less likely Reaper could have died while he was using Death Blossom right there. Instead, we ended up using trance kind of to get out here, which is not the ideal circumstance. Either way, it was a very bad situation. So things weren't looking great, whatever way you looked at it, but, you know, I would have rather played a little bit safer to try and build trance up. So we changed to Lucio to get a little bit out here a little bit faster. As you do, we ain't gonna build up trance anytime soon after that one, so yeah, let's get out there faster. We end up dying. Yeah, such is life, you know, things weren't looking good at that point, were they? So, now we get to attack. Did our team comp change at all between? We've got a Reinhardt now. We've got a Reinhardt now. It's a real tank. It's a real boy. Everybody's leaving voice chat. Everybody's mad. Let me turn this boy up. Maybe he's complaining. I like to listen to people complain. Because I'm the kind of person that likes to be angry. I wake up every morning, I wake up every evening, and I just spring up, go over to the computer and go, what can I be angry about today? And you know, the internet always provides me with something to be angry about, which is all I really want. So, we've got a Torbjorn still. Who's that over there? Soldier? Okay, so we don't have any flankers outside of Reaper, I guess, but, you know, not the greatest flanker in the world. Life is hard sometimes. Yeah, we just kind of got blitzed as soon as we came around the corner. Life is hard sometimes. You know? Sometimes you peek a corner and you take a bunch of unexpected damage at once. Sometimes you peek a corner and, you know, you get hit in the face by a log, right? Like an entire tree just hits you right in the face. It'd be like that sometimes. So, that didn't go particularly well. Pookie, our boy Pookie, has finally decided that he might like to contribute a little bit more actively to the game than he has been previously, and has decided to pick Genji. Molten Core got some value outside of that, but otherwise, I honestly kept forgetting we even had a Torbjorn, except for when I saw Molten Core everywhere. But you know what's a better ultimate than Molten Core? Dragon Blade. Dragon Blade's a pretty good ultimate, though, so maybe that's an unfair bar to put it against. So we're going real hard for the peak blitz right there, but it didn't really work out. I think, in general, Zenyatta players are, like, pretty over-eager on the volley. We're not really hitting this guy, but, you know, we're making it less appealing for him to peek a corner. So, you know, suppression in and of itself is pretty good. Most of their team is dead at this point, so things are going well. Our Harmony Orb was briefly on nobody while we were over there, which isn't very good efficiency. We would like to keep our orbs up as much as possible. Discord Orb, not possible to really keep up 100% of the time, but Harmony Orb, you know, you can keep up pretty much 100% of the time. Hasn't really been a thing during this game. Reinhardt just tried to use Earth Shatter, by the way, but he died before he got it off, so life is difficult for him now. Interesting use of the amplification matrix right there. Use it on the checkpoint you've already lost. Hey, seems good. Hey, sometimes you get hit in the face by a tree. You know, it's scary to be opting into fighting anybody from that position, because they did have high ground advantage on us, bare minimum, which is already very scary to pick a fight with somebody when you're on the low ground and they're on the high ground. But they also had the amplification matrix up there. So us going for any kind of trade with them was pretty scary, honestly, and we did end up getting killed, but we got headshot by Hanzo. That can happen anywhere on the map. But just going for it in general was risky. That was very aggressive positioning, but they were in no position to punish us for it, so hey, you know, that's the important thing, right? If you don't get punished, you don't have to learn. Their soldiers using Tac Visor right now, so peeking corners was very scary. We did it a few times anyway, but we didn't, like, massively commit to any peeks, so it's fine. We've got Trance built up right now. The only ultimate they might have in the near future is Graviton. Reinhardt's got to... Well, Reinhardt's been up for a little bit, so he's probably like halfway towards his by this point. Zarya, probably the closest to having her ultimate, though. She must either have it or be extremely close to having it, so we want to bear that in mind when we use Trance. Reaper spinning up in that room over there, it didn't really work out. It also didn't really work out for Pookie, who went in with him. And now Soldier's behind us. He can't have Tac Visor right now, so that's not particularly scary. F-Poon, not Pookie, F-Poon, has decided to change to Zarya, so hooray, now we even have 2 tanks. Wow, isn't that incredible? So, here we go. Hey, we use Trance. There you go. That's what you do. Did we really need to use it? Like, it didn't really feel like they did a whole lot with that Graviton, to be honest with you. Soldier's using Tac Visor in here with us right now. Zarya's right on our grill. You know, it's fine. Life is hard. Life is hard. We could have tried to get away from this guy rather than opting into the fight with the Winston. Because fighting with the Winston when he's in his bubble is difficult. We could literally just turn tail and run and break line of sight around these corners, make it more difficult for him to kill us, because there were a lot of corners for us to break line of sight to him with, and if we can get back to our team, things are looking better for us. If we can get back in line of sight of Ana, pretty much. Fun fact, you do move faster running forward instead of backwards. Going backwards, you move at 90% speed. whereas going forward, you move at 100% speed. So if you really are trying to get away from someone and cut corners, turning tail and running is actually better, even if you're not playing soldier. So, things are going well. We've got a lot of time to capture this checkpoint, but this checkpoint is, as I said earlier, like 80% of this map, so life could still be extremely sad for us. Reinhardt's going real fucking in right now. Dragon was in front of us. We couldn't, really follow him. I don't want to peek a single fucking corner right now, because I just heard Soldier use Tac Visor and Batista use Amplification Matrix. That shit murders you before you know what the fuck. I don't want to peek a single corner knowing both of those ultimates are active at the same time, because I'll die before I can react. Also, fight pretty over at that point. We should have just been disengaging. We could have just walked back down the staircase and been good. Like, fight was over at that point. We weren't winning on that push. Better to just back up and regroup. So, did Soldier change to McCree? Yes, Soldier changed to McCree. So that makes things easier for us, because now we have to worry about less things. Because Trance doesn't help with Deadeye. So now we only really have to worry about Graviton and Dragon Strike. Mostly Graviton, because they'll probably be used together, but Dragon Strike can get some value on this map, even without Graviton, just because it's very confined. We should be paying more attention to Soldier right now, because he's in critical health being chased by Winston, but I'm not sure we noticed it was happening. Anna dealt with the situation regardless, but we should have been more interested in that situation as one of the healers. Genji's purple right now. We put the Harmony Orb on him and, hoped pretty much, but didn't work out too well. He wanted the nano, apparently, while he was purple, so that would be a great use of company resources right there. So we did hear that Winston was sleeping behind us, and so we knew, we came back here knowing what we were gonna find. We should have put the Discord Orb on him before we did this, because then he might have died before he actually got to use, Primal Rage right here. And we knew. It's not like, we were surprised to find Winston asleep behind us. Someone called out that he was back there. So we should have put Discord on, then started charging, rather than charging and, just throwing it into him. Because Discord Orb, hey, it makes you do a lot of extra damage. That's an incredible Graviton. And F-Poon just went, God damn it. So he knows what he did. Everybody saw, everybody knows what he did, but at least he also knows what he did. So Amplification Matrix is over there right now. McCree is probably standing behind it. We were still kind of peeking that corner, even though we just heard Deadeye, which, we don't want to be peeking any corners right then either. So, Genji's dead, everybody is still alive. Hanzo's up above us right now, so very scary for us right now. Here comes Winston. Oh god, even scarier. They did just use Dragon Strike. Oh god, we got nano boosted. I heard Anna use her ultimate, but I didn't know who she hit. She hit us. Worst possible result. This is the thing, is that, we used it to stay alive back here, but it's I just think about the situation when we pushed it, and I'm like, is our situation likely to really be any better when Transcendence ends? Not really. Things are looking quite bad right now. 2 people are dead on our team, and, oh boy, are we in a bad spot. Both our DPS are gone, so it's not like this fight's super likely to turn around over the course of the trance, and lo and behold, it hasn't. So we use it to stay alive, but the fight we were in just never looked like it was likely to get any better, so I'd rather just take the death and use trance on a fight where we have a better chance of actually winning the fight. And it's really, very sad to use your ultimate and it do nothing when you've only got a minute left in the round, because, that might be the last trance we get to use in this round, and it just didn't get us any value at all. It also kind of prolonged the fight, and so we might have... Get off, Anna? What's wrong with Anna, my man? What a weird one. Haven't seen that one since Anna came out, pretty much. That was so fun. Every week, the week Anna came out, everybody's like, Anna's fucking terrible, dude. Stop playing Anna. Jesus Christ. Oh, well, it turns out she was actually the most overpowered hero in the game. Weren't we all fools that first week? Batista, oh, look how long Anna is right now. What a long cat. Batista, everybody's saying Batista's weak, and oh look, Batista's actually fine. Turns out we needed to learn how to play him. How about that? So I was gonna say, because we dragged out that fight, we might have inadvertently led to baiting Reinhardt into using his ultimate as well. That's the thing when you, like, use your ultimate to extend a fight. If it's a bad fight, you can get your teammates to use their ultimates on a bad fight as well. So then you just end up compounding the mistake. Like, it's their mistake to use the ultimate in a fight they're gonna lose as well. Don't get me wrong, but like, we can end up leading to them making that bad decision, so in the end, it also partly becomes our fault, because we were step one in the chain of events that led to them doing it, you know? So, Graviton got dropped over there, didn't really pay off. McCree's using Deadeye. We were gonna have to react pretty fast to get to any cover right there. We did go further out away from cover, but it was like as he was pushing the button that we went out. So life is hard sometimes, you know? Hey, you know, look how much better things went when we had an actual team comp, though. Imagine if we had one during round 1. Did we play perfectly? No, of course not. It's very hard to play a game where you played perfectly, but so that's the important thing to focus on. It's not, you know, even when it's genuinely not your fault, you should still be like, it was my fault, though. Take ownership for it anyway. But this is one of those games where it's like, you know, the entire first round we had solo tank Roadhog. So we're allowed to cut ourselves a little bit of slack at the same time. Because, I mean, life is just hard like that sometimes, isn't it? The YouTube algorithm's been mad fucked up lately. Let's see what we got. Wow, it looks like it might actually be good. I like Joe Rogan's podcast. This is a good video, yes. Apollo Legends done good stuff, though, you know, there was that thing recently. Down the Rabbit Hole, very interesting series. Jim Sterling, very big fan of. Good if you like Final Fantasy XIV content. How Retro, the Angry Video Game Nerd. I follow Cinemassacre, don't really watch the Angry Video Game Nerd. Rental Reviews, same channel, very good series. I like Matthew Colville. I follow this man too. Keep forgetting Code Vein's coming out. Anime Dark Souls, how exciting. I follow Team Spooky. I mean, you know, that's the kind of thing I would watch, so you got me. And I've watched many videos about Fallout 76, as I suspect we all have. So good job, YouTube algorithm, you finally got your shit figured out, because, God, it was, like, real fucked up the other day. Anyway, so pretty much the thing that stood out the most in this game was basically aggressive positioning, playing more risky than we had to in a lot of situations, which led to us dying. We didn't always get punished, but, like, we got punished for, like, the very first one in the game, so, you know, sometimes we did and sometimes we didn't. So yeah, that was the thing that stood out the most, pretty much. Don't feel like we got a huge amount of value out of Transcendence, either. One time, mostly because we reacted late when we wanted to use Transcendence. That happens sometimes. Didn't feel like we got a lot of value out of our ultimate, though, so there's that, but mostly very risky and aggressive positioning, pretty much. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 7 p.m. EST till 11 p.m. EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.